a Shell garage. I was going to buy airtime and a bottle of water. A few people bebesekhona nyana estradeni bathi basiza ukuthi hey kwenzakalani bathi hayi lo mfana utshontshile uganyile ningazi ngeni siyamfuna lo one wabo athini lamhlanje ilanga lakho lokugcina emhlabeni.
They cannot kill you and then extract. They need to extract while you're still alive because it's the pain, it's the suffering that will give those organs power spiritually.
Bang forced ukuthi ngiphuze umuthi. I had accepted ukuthi ngizofa.
I've got a lot of questions. There's so many loopholes in this story. It's not even funny.
Ugogo athi ngimi athi Thiliso nakwawo yahoshwa ayisofihli lwana ngwanaka. Ula ngizovuka khona ke.
The process that he's telling us about is basically about harvesting body parts.
Yes.
Listening to you, nothing really happened to you that would make you now have sleepless nights in terms of sleep paralysis, sexual dreams, or you seeing shadows, or you seeing, things that could be sent.
Sanibona igama uvela bahleka mdlavuza umahlasela ngomthondo amava ehlasela ngamavolovolo untombi zamanga isize yamfuna ezabesuthu ziyenqaba zithi bathung v ngihamba nomfazi onabasende the woman with balls lalela sesibuyile namhlanje siphethe our guest igama uThiliso uzosixoxela ngesimo esake samehlela ngelinye ilanga but we are going to get there. Thiliso unjani mntwana?
Ngiyaphila unjani bhuti omdala?
Sikhona mfowethu siyajabula ukuthi uma ngabe sibhala sithi sidinga abantu to come and share their stories and their experience nge-witchcraft ukuthi ebese you are willing to come and share your story with our audience, our viewers, abantu bethu.
Yebo. Nami ngiyathokoza ukuthi ningiphele thuba ukuthi ngize la ngizoxoxa kini and hopefully ngene iperspective engcono kakhulukazi from ugogo because of ngiyazi ukuthi yazazi lezinto.
I just want to hear the story because I didn't get the opportunity to read your email.
For real?
No.
Hey.
I did. I read
yeah,
the email.
you read the email.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I come here without knowing what we're going to discuss regarding the guests that we're going to have.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to hearing your story.
Oh.
So kancane nje ukukuphazamisa esinye seyizathu ngenze ngafunda ngamase ngayikhetha email yakho ukuthi ngizwe enkulumeni yakhe relate kakhulu ne topic esike saba nayo I think on episode 1 yokuthwala and then ngiyacabanga ukuthi futhi okunye ngikupick upile enkulumeni yakho ukuthi awukalapheki kahle ngendlela okwenzeka ngayo mhlambe awulaphekile ngokwamazwi also awulaphekile nangokomuthi nangokwengqondo ke nje
Kuyiqiniso.
So njengamanje bhuti wami ngicela ukuthi nje ukusihlalela odabeni ulande lunje ngoba lunjalo cause ngiyacabanga ukuthi I picked up on your email ukuthi I think this thing happened sometime on the 21st of July last year.
It happened in 2021 July.
2021. Okay.
July. Yeah. I remember it was that day. I remember the July unrest. In July, where the country was unsettled and the president had commissioned to release the military to instill order and whatnot.
It was the Zuma situation.
It was that Zuma situation. So it happened exactly on that day when the president had said that he's going to send out the military to instill order and discipline in the public. So, being say Kagiso, that's where I was born. I remember it was around just before 9 p.m. because of a lockdown. Kagiso is in the West Rand, not too far from
Mahale City.
It's in Mahale City. Yeah, it's in Mahale City. So it happened around to 8. I went to a Shell garage. I was going to buy airtime and a bottle of water. So mangifika khona egarage ngithenga amanzi. Mangicela ukuthenga amanzi ne airtime. I step out of the garage. Mangiphuma kunobhuti onginyathelayo, yabo. akanginyathela ngiyambona lo muntu unochuku yabo ngiphuma kuye athini kimi athi cheese boy uthenga namanzi something like that. I'm like no man, something is off lana. Ngifonela abantu basekhaya ngithi hey kunento ngathi kunabantu abangimakile yabona ngisakhuluma naye ahluthile ifoni yami lo muntu abantu basesitolo abazingeni manje egarage like hey phumani thina siyavala hayi ngithi ngiyabaleka mangithi ngiyabaleka la ngibalekela khona
encane igarage lase Kagiso liyavala ebusuku
Belvala because of it was locked down. So what they did is that they closed a shop and then the petrol attendants bona basebenza but igarage ngaphakathi esitolo bavala icapha ukuthi ungasakhona ukungena uthenge igrocery nani.
Yeah, they still do.
So malvala kanjalo and futhi angithi bebathi abafuna ukubona umuntu after 9. Yeah. Ngiyaphuma ngithi ngiyabaleka mangibaleka kanti ukhona umunye ongimele ngapha enzansi. So I'm like okay it's fine. I'm defeated bangibamba inkunzi labantu. Bakhipha omese. Then komunye bekane sibhamu. Ngithi ngiyabaleka futhi bangishaya 2 feet. A few people bebasekhona nyana estradeni bathi basiza ukuthi hey kwenzakalani bathayi lo mfana utshontshile uganyile ningazi ngeni siyamfuna. Angishawe lapha estradeni rough bangithathe labantu bahambe nami. Mabahamba nami angazi kwenzakaleni ukuthi sebabaningi manje they took me to some shack. Sifika kuleyo shack yakhona they continue beating me up.
Yeah.
Under the pretense ukuthi ngitshontshile ngithi and I didn't steal anything. Maloku bangishaya kanjalo it gets to a point whereby bangishaya bangisika ngomesela.
Yeah.
I still have the scars nasi. I went proudly. Nala bangivule like they made an opening lana bangishaye bagcine bangitshela ukuthi yazini kahle kahle wena kudala sikufuna sizokuteach lesson like but ngiyangifuna ningifunelani hayi abafuna ukuexplain nje ba vague ngama details ngiyashawa omunye angikhumula sengithathwele nezimpahla lo one wabo athini namhlanje ilanga lakho lokugcina emhlabeni omunye wabo ufuna ukulala nami yabo like ngiyajwayelwa manje
so man sebekhumule njobe ufuna ukulala nawe
sesemkho oyi1
sekukhumulile vele
lo obanye bangikhumule i-top ngisele manje ngani ufuna ukungikhumula ibrook eventually alikhumule kusele nje iBVD la abanye babhizi nje angalastand inyaka kuyahlekwa nje lo ewana athi hayi ngifuna basically said bekafuna ukungidlwengula understand
ngamagama ayibeke ngayo
ayibeke ngamagama ukuthi ngizokudla indunu because bekakhuluma ngesizulu ngiyakhumbula abanye bahleka continue beating me up likely it didn't happen so mabulungu bangishaya bangforced ukuthi ngiphuze umuthi that's something esigubhini bangiphuzisa yona ngenkani bangiphuzisa yona I'm start losing reasoning yami I'm in a state of confusion yabona la ukuthi man something is off manje lo bengangikwaze ngomese sebakhipha ama objects engawa understand ungitshela ukuthi they gonna cut me up alive yabona I'm like but for what I understand ama reasons wabo bekuyini I still don't want to lie because of I'm in a state of confusion mawuloku benza lezo zinto I can see which this thing man is evil now.
Yeah.
This thing I see it's not just a physical fight. Yes, baningi but I can sense manje ukuthi man this thing unobuthakathinyana. This is witchcraft. It's I straight. I start praying.
So yini ekwenza ucabanga ukuthi there's witchcraft?
There's witchcraft because of when we got to lo mkhukhu as confused as I am uthi kimi uzongisika ngiphila and ungiphuzisa umuthi. Ungisike la nala ngisikekile. Ngifake into la angazi bangifakeni la kulomuntu yabona la bekuvulekile
so mekusika la uyakusika
uyangisika bangifaki umuthinyana powder rich nyana it says powder rich whatever I drank though was liquid so makwenzakala leyo nyaka umkhukhu wakhona I think there was I'm not sure if there was a cloth or not but there was candles that much I know maloku lama candles nama yini ama utensils they were using it's not normal knives. Yeah, but it's like when I'm a doctor or operate on a human being. Yeah, but man, this thing is not like a normal knife. Yes, bankwaze with a normal knife, but there's other things that they are using.
Yeah.
But kuzoba ilanga lami lokugcina emhlabeni. Then ngiyabona ukuthi kushubile la. I start praying because of manje ngihopeless. Ngiyabona ukuthi akusaba clever labantu amademoni. I start praying bangithandaza bayadineka bangishaka kakhulu. Oyiwani wabathini nalo Jesu wakho ngeke azakusiza noma ungathandaza wenze ngeke akusize. Namhlanje uzofa. And sizokushisa amasiqede baloku bakhuluma lezo zinto one of them makes a phone call because of his gang he makes a phone call to some lady I can pick up ukuthi lo muntu ukhuluma no nomuntu wesifazane
Yeah.
wesimami lo gogo athini bamtshela ukuthi simtholile lo muntu lo gogo athi hayi mbambeni lapho abanikeza ama instructions. I remember ukuthi uzoqala umsebenzi ngabo 12 mina ngilindeni ngisalungisa naye yalungisa la khona ngizofika lapho ngabo 12.
So wazi kanjani ukuthi njengoba befona nje bakhuluma nomuntu wesifazane nokuthi uthini ngendlela osho ngayo?
Okay, the phone is not on loudspeaker, but umuntu makakhuluma nomuntu, I won't lie, ngeke ngithi ngisho because of mhlambe bekambiza ngomama. It's possible ukuthi I-tone yakhona ukuyizwa. But for me to know ukuthi umsebenzi uzoqala nini, angithi umuntu makakhuluma you reiterate what she's saying ukuthi oh sizenza kanje na kanje, like umuntu asho socala okay so ukuthi then you can pick up a conversation ukuthi okay lo muntu athi into ekanje. That's how I picked up ukuthi khuluma nomuntu esimami. And when that lady arrived futhi ngazibonela nami
Okay.
ukuthi umuntu esimami lona now the way bengamadress ngakhona I think bengamadress athi mama wafika ke ngo12 lo mama wakhona wayenza izinto zakhona. I'm still in that state of ukupassa out and ngilongivuka futhi wathini osebangikhumula ke manje uthi bangikhumule uzongibeka like kulelo. I'm not sure if there was a cloth or not, but I remember those candles. Bangishisa ngawo, still have the bands. Emzibeni bangishisa, bangisika nango meselana, and I still continue praying. The last thing I remember, enzagele, ukuthi I remember vivid, is that I passed out. Me passing out, it was me giving. Okay,
Yeah.
it was me giving up. Ukuthi as in, I give up. Ngifile. I had accepted ukuthi ngizofa. I passed out. When I passed out, in that state of me passing out, I'm calling it passing out, I then dreamed of my grandmother. That one I remember vividly. That's my grandmother, ukhona lapho, and then it's like a council of elders. Bayakhuluma labantu, like they sitting. I don't know if it was in a secular form of ngapha abanye ngapha. So ugogo, because of she's the only face I could recognize as umuntu ukuthi vele nyamazi, and she's passed on. Bakhuluma amongst themselves. I remember abanye bathi uThiriso mele simthathe akamameli yabona gogo amathi hayi mnikene enye chance, but Marif simnikeza chance he's damaged ungeke kulunge, and futhi dala simtshela ngento ukuthi he needs to follow in ancestral road. He doesn't believe in that. He's Christian. Now he's got into this situation ehlangahlangene. Ugogo akhuluma nalabo bantu, and then ugogo athi athi Thiriso nakwawo yahoshwa ayisofihli lwana ngwanaka kula ngizovuka khona ke. Mangivuka angazi ukuthi bengilwa or bengithandaza, but I remember that woman athini ngeke sikwazi ukuyenza lento lo mfana simphethe siphese we messing with the wrong person, and mina ngilifuna igazi la lo mfana ezandleni zami. That's what that lady said.
So uma ngithi ngiyakubamba kahle enkulumeni yakho,
Yebo.
uthi kumina you passed out,
Yebo bhuti.
and then waphupha ugogo wakho.
Ugogo wami.
Kungathi bahlangene abantu abadala basemeetingini
Basemeetingini.
badiscuss udaba lwakho.
Yebo.
So mabel discussa kanjalo bathi awuzwa wena awulaleli.
Bathi angilaleli in a sense ukuthi angifuni uacknowledge amadlozi.
Okay, so bathi wena awuzwa wena awulaleli. Wakhuluma nabo ugogo wakho uqede ubuyela kuwena uzothi kuwena hamba uyolwa mntanami isikhathi sakho sokuthi udlule emhlabeni asikakafiki. Kulapho la uvuka khona.
Kulapho ngizovuka khona.
Okay, so mawuvuka ke manje, so uyavuka ke manje. Angithi labantu laba. Yes, uyavuka manje, labantu bakhona nangamadoda, nango nalomfazi angithi usekhona manje.
Yep.
So nawa lamakhandlela ulele phansi. Sebekwenzani ke manje?
That angifuni uqamba manga I can't remember. Izinto ukuthi they stuck out in my memory. Ukuthi lo mama wathi mina ngeke sikwazi ukuqhubeka ngalomfana because of igazi lakhe ngilifuna ezandleni zami. And I remember them arguing, saying, kodwa lo mfana into ayibonile wayikhuluma kuzoyenzakalani ngathi. They were arguing amongst themselves ukuthi kuzoyenzakalani. Angakhuluma because of I suspected that I knew one of the guys. I don't want to lie.
So ngamkhomba mengaqhamuka la.
Well, yazi kwenzakalani? I did. Ngiyangamkhomba. Mina ngithi after that happened, ukhulume leyo nto. In between, still I don't remember what happened. Remember bangidlisa izinto bangidlise zona. I don't know why memory yami ikhumbula ezikhumbulayo, but those are things that stuck with me.
Okay kancane. So uthi wena okay you dreamt of your grandmother and then wavuka and then wathi lo I'm suspecting uthi sangoma lesi
Thakathi.
was it not you?
Why would it be me?
I want to know. I want to know. Okay, so now
I'm trying to piece the puzzle. I'm
yeah,
listening
that's what I'm doing
so that
too
I
as well.
give constructive advice. Because I've got a lot of questions. There's so many loopholes in the story. It's not even funny. And when I say loopholes, I'm not saying Guti, the story's not making sense. I'm thinking in a sense of there are things that I do, and let us say we were actually going down that route of trying to get or harvest body parts, basically, because what he's describing is harvesting body parts. You know, there's so many questions that one needs to have in order to know what kind of body parts you want.
Before uqhubeka ne?
Yeah.
Uma ekhuluma la I think ukhuluma ngokuthi bebefuna ukudlisa bebadlisa yena imithi bakufaka imithi ne
Yep.
bathi bazo ngekusavuka
Labafana laba ya
okay,
bebangitshela
bathi ngekuzu
abakhuluma
abakhuluma bangakhuluma ngama body parts
bakhulumile ngithi beba
But the process he's saying, I'm a sangoma. I know how these things work. The process that he's telling us about is basically about harvesting body parts.
Yes,
And in order for those body parts to have a spiritual connection with the person that sacrifices them, that person needs to be alive. It's painful. In order for them to work spiritually upon whatever you're using them for, the person needs to be in pain. So whatever he's telling me, already I know where it's going.
Yeah.
But now I need to know, with him growing up, these people... Okay, with him growing up, one, is there a spiritual background, right? Two, with these people can't just get a random person.
Yeah,
there must be a profiling that is done. Do you understand? Where it's either he's been watched, he's been followed, he is known, or the bloodline is known. I think it's also very immature for a sangoma to say, I don't want his blood on my hands. Because before you actually even think of doing such, you do your research in terms of bloodline.
Yes.
Do you understand? You do your research in terms of amadlozi wakubo bathini bona. Njengoba naye azikhulumela athi amadlozi bebakhuluma ukuthi akamameli. Do you understand? So when he said there were people sitting on both sides of the podium. Remember, masikhuluma edlozini sibiza iside lakabo baba, which is the right hand side, and side lakabo mama, which is the left hand side. And in any form, whether ubaba uklawulile or akaklawulanga or bakpatalele or abakpatelelang, spiritually you belong to your dad's side of the family. So in anything that we do, because you have people who will say, my father didn't do 1, 2, 3, therefore if he didn't acknowledge me, I will never call on his surname. So this is just another affirmation or something that stems the fact, Yoguti, in anything that you do, both sides of your family will be represented from your bloodline, right? So what he's talking about is just that both sides, but the grandmother is his guardian angel, because I believe in guardian angels. I believe in amadlozi that will stand out and be there to protect you against all odds. But I do, however, question Oguti, that woman said, I don't want his blood on my hands. No premature, maybe she's premature, and I stand to be corrected. If you are out there, you can find me. You know where to find me. But I would say she is a bit premature, because you cannot do something that is so serious and so deadly and still back away from it. You risk, number one, angering your own ancestors if amadlozi wako avumile. You risk angering the person's ancestors by letting him go. Doesn't mean ukuthi iphelile ayiphelanga. So it doesn't make sense, because no traditional healer or no gedla or whatever you want to call it, sangoma, whoever, whatever, do you understand, will ever get into something without doing research. And when I talk about research, I'm talking about ukushaya inhlolo ukuyizila ngoba mawenza izinto kanjalo uyazila ngendlela yakho. Hence I always say that people think performing witchcraft or doing ichitho and whatever is something that is simple. It's not. You need to literally you know, sit back and be in a clear space of mind and know exactly what you're doing. So you can't be halfway into something. You've already cut him, you've already put him meat, you've already made him drink, and now you're like, I can't do this. Doesn't make sense. So I want to know from you, did these people follow you around? Do these people know who you are? Do these people watch you? Because you can't just pick up someone from the streets. First, you need to identify who it is that we are going to get 1, 2, 3 from, whether it's the liver, whether it's a heart, whether it's your head, whether it's your private part, whether it's your left hand, whatever the case might be. We identify ukuthi okay fine sifuna uThiliso. uThiliso fanele sazi ukuthi uThiliso wakobani yini, why him? Do you understand? Why are we saying him? Ngoba nephara mawuzothi uwenza izinto ngazo, there's a reason why fanele usebenzise iphara.
So man, iphara liyasebenza vele?
Yeah, because amadlozi have already given up. It's easy to use them.
Wow.
No one's going to fight for them spiritually.
So basically iphara li useful.
No, we're not talking about that one right now.
Okay.
But that's a conversation for another day.
The question of Visa Koko, did I feel like I was being followed? It's true, I did.
You felt like it, or you were being followed?
No, I felt like I was being followed. On that day, it was like I knew something bad was going to happen. I don't want to lie. Number one, I remember it started, say in the morning. Nitsini, gunomunyu babo hlala next door nasekhaya. I can't mention names manje ngithi for the sake of abantu abadala. I had a conversation naye. Feel like anxious and scared, yabo. Ngithe man madala. Cause of I qala ukungenzakala lento ukuthi ngihlanga yabo. Ngithi I feel like I'm being followed. Something is not okay, yabo. Axoxe na my man ntwana relax. This thing is all in your mind in nani. I wanted to go and visit omunye umngani wami futhi. So umfana next door, which is umntwana kababa. They have Vito. I wanted to go and visit my friend. I was afraid to walk alone. Imagine that. Ngacela lo mfana ukuthi angikhaphe. Emini na. Sahamba athini ufuna uqala eShell. The very same Shell where I got captured. It was in the morning. In the morning, I noticed Begne Tegisi. Yamazulu. It's sort of Amazulu, but okay, Amazulu man. Zulu is Zulu. But clearly Abu Baba Amazulu Bamba Tegis, and I was like, I feel uneasy about these people. But me, I've been feeling being kulma based on fear.
That's the anxiety, that's intuition.
The anxiety in me, yes.
And the problem is people always have anxiety, always have intuition, something that is telling them that something is coming, something, or don't go there, whatever, but people choose to ignore it. That is actually your ancestors communicating with you. But because you don't understand and you don't know what it is, you can't really react. Do you understand? So, yeah.
So that
which Shell is this? When you get to Kagiso, I say, okay, Sarantonga Hospital, and then there's a right, and then there's a Shell.
When Leratong Hospital, you skip Leratong Hospital, you don't take a right.
You don't want people now to stop going to the Shell because they're going to get kidnapped for Muti rituals.
No.
So don't give up the location of the Shell.
All right,
people won't go there. They'll say there's Muti rituals. People are doing things there to people.
They're turning people to diesel.
So that day when I was feeling confused, angithatha ngikhaphe kulomngani wami ne. Masifika kulomngani wami. Ngifike ngihlale kumngani wami ngithini nomfana hayi ungangishiya ke manje yabo ahambe angishiye makangishiya kwenzakaleni that friend of mine I'm visiting nabo bayabona ukuthi this is not in the right state of mind kwenzakalani I'm uneasy noma ngihleli nabo I feel it's like I don't trust anyone. It's like I felt something bad was going to happen but I didn't know what. So yeah, that's why noma ngihleli ekhaya I panic. I don't want to be in one place. That's why I told ukuthi I'm keep moving around because I feel like I'm being followed, but for why? Angazi. And I don't know why I'm getting this feeling.
Can I just interject?
Yes, go.
Sometimes when you get the spirit of feeling as if you're being followed, these people are using a monitoring spirit, you know, whether it could be a bird, an owl, whatever the case might be. And normally when you have a monitoring spirit, you feel as if somebody is watching over you. You might not see the person with the naked eye, but you feel as if something is there, you know, something is watching you. So when people who do these things, and we're talking about serious people, we're not talking about amachansas, we're talking about serious people, things like this would need you to have a monitoring spirit, so that they know what are you doing, where are you, and you know, what are you about to do. Because even with people who, let's say, are living this great amazing life, you know, and I want to see their downfalls, just for argument's sake. I want to see their downfall. You're living an amazing life, and I go to a sangoma, and you know, the sangoma says, let us put a monitoring spirit on him. I actually know things before you announce them.
So madam, so basically lo muntu umtholele bodyguard.
Yeah, but spiritually, but it's not for good intent, it's for bad intent. I will know things before he announces it.
So,
and if I know, like if we're sitting in a boardroom and he gets a tender, I will know he got a tender.
So
but before it's finalized, what do? I go to a traditional healer to block him.
So,
it must not be finalized. I had this, I had it in the bag, everything was okay, everything was going right, but all of a sudden, you know, it flew. Even if he tries again, I know I have put a monitoring spirit on him.
So this monitoring spirit should umshadisa nespoki.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a spoke. It can be an owl, it can be a bird, it can be an animal, it can be things. As long as, and they come to me in a form of a dream. Do you understand? Because I'm monitoring him. And somebody who is alert and is in touch with their spiritual side will actually feel as if they're being watched. Even when you're sitting, you'll feel as if somebody is standing behind you. You will feel as if somebody is suppressing you. It's as if as it is, there's no other meaning to a point where you want to give up, you don't want to fight anymore, and it becomes a problem.
So okay, so lo next door, because I trust him, I take him as my brother, and the time I'll trust her. So that's why I chose him, and he understood that thing because of being at Kalubi feel, and he's one person that would advise me to seek traditional help. Because of he know I grew up a Christian, we don't do those things now. But you'd say, you know what, as a father, me looking out for you, do these things, be a man, man up, do these things. Okay, anyway, to cut the short story, lo angshi lo next to angshi glom from another section, magangshi corner, nienzeni, ngihlale kancane nabo, but nabangihleli nabo, I feel uneasy. Ngithi ngiyaza ngisayithola nyabaleka. Because I feel unsafe.
Out of the blue.
I don't want them to know. I don't even want them to know now, but Uguti, I feel unsafe around them.
Yeah.
Because if I don't know who to trust, because if I feel like no man Sekai, I'm still going to get attacked. So I'm trying to find a safe space.
So now where you going, Mobile?
Manghamba Nyenzani. Number one, I called someone, a lady, I don't want to involve her. Cameras don't see it. Called her, couldn't get a hold of her. I think she found out later. I couldn't get a hold of her because she's my safe space. Zangim told on that day, unfortunately. And I remember on that day being petty. I been petty my valuables. Should anything happen to me, that lady.
But why would you think that something's going to happen to you?
Because I felt uneasy, but I couldn't explain it. Why? It's that confusion. That's why I only got to understand what those things meant after they referred me to Umkhulu. I went to 2 traditional healers. Yeah.
Before sifike kumkhulu besela ekuthenini manje this lady says akafuni igazi
lakhe libe zakhe yebo maqeda usho kanjalo that lady in between I don't remember what happened ngiqamba manga butomdala into engikhumbulayo ukuthi I was woken up that some guy woke me up ngisestradeni angivusa akangivusa ngiyaphaphama I'm like ngisestradeni mangisestradeni I'm still in shock angikhumbuli kahle ukuthi kwenzakaleni ngifuna nje ukubaleka like I don't feel safe angikhaphe lo bhuti he took me back to the very same Shell garage because of us like as in if you can take me to that ngizofonela abantu basekhaya bazongilanda because it's the closest garage
so this is the same Shell garage
it's the same garage
right ubanjwe kule Shell garage
ngibanjwe
kuyo this guy he wakes you up right takes you back
uyangibuza ukuthi cha yena ungibuzile like kwenzakalani ngakusiza kanjani I'm like okay ngoba ngeke ungikhaphe ekhaya the safest thing ongayenza ukuthi ngishiye eShell garage from eShell garage I'll get help ukuthi ngifonele abantu basekhaya bazongilanda khona you understand those people ukuthi bangithathe egarage bangithole lapho because of they were monitoring me so I don't feel scared going back to the same garage because of Estradeni still I'm unsafe and ekuvaliwe the only place engafeel ukuthi kune light yiyo le garage and I feel ukuthi bengizocela usizo khona they take me to a garage mangifika egarage ngimabokoboko abantu abasebenza lapha yani bathini hey bafuna banginike cell phone ukuthi call your family members angikhumbula ama number abantu basekhaya sengwakhohliwe I'm confused bathini kimi mfana kuzomela uhlale la until ilanga liphuma I remember but the time it was around 2 a.m. that one I remember very well angishiye lapho lo bhuti ngimbonga ahambe ngithi ngisifonela abantu basekhaya angithola ama number wabo ngiconfused nje and the car's not that far it's like maybe 2 kilometers walk but I'm scared ukuhamba ngi1 after what I gone through nalabantu basesel they don't understand ukuthi le out bangibona ukuthi ngishaywe but bona bacanga ukuthi halo bekayoganga that's why I shayed
so did they
now I look
you
bengihamba ngisele ngeBVT
so egarage unqunu
ngihamba ngeBVT so mabangibheka babona umuntu ohlanyayo babona iphara in other words asibeka kanjalo ngisele ngeBVT there was even a cop naye ngimcela he was off duty ngamcela ukuthi ngicela ungikhaphe ekhaya ngiceda kuye ngithe ngibanjwe inkonzi he just looked at me and said nothing wahamba lelo phoyisa it's like nobody wanted to help me it was like nginto nje yaze ngasho next like ngahlala egarage ngazibamba kancane la ngamanzi ukuthi ngizovela ngahamba ngayikhaya ngangena eroomini hayi endlini eroomini ngalala mangilala ngikhathele ngisemapainini ngibhlungu pass out bangena endlini bangivusa bathi bebayofuna mina because of angithi ngibafonela last time bafonela bathatha phone now but they knew babuzwile ukuthi I was calling out for help and labantu bathatha ifoni yami it's not because of bebangibamba inkunzi vele bebangithakithile ekhaya bahamba bayofunana nami so ekseni babangibuza ukuthi kwenzakaleni ekhaya bangibuza angithi
so bakubuza
uvelaphi because of they knew I was in danger bahambe bafunana nami they couldn't find me I say to them
so ekhaya beqala ukunyamalala
cha lento yenzakaleni one day bona ba worried because if I called them and during the day makwenzala lenyaka nyaka remember nasekhaya babona ukuthi lo muntu akekho right but still angifuni nokuhlala nasekhaya because I feel unsafe nasendlini but they don't know nabo ukuthi like what is what but they are concerned vele lokubavuza ngungithola but ubuyaphi kwenzakaleni I mentioned this name one of my friend ithi ngikhumbula lo muntu lokuthi he was amongst the people ukuthi bangenze kanje they went and fetched that guy and they didn't tell me ukuthi bazomlanda mina ngihlele eroomini ngilele futhi ngiyaphuma eroomini ngiyohlala endlini manje bamlanda lo muntu baza nami like oh my gosh bazana lo muntu mabaza naye bathi kiyo ngifuna ukumbiza ngegama shoma lo muntu athi uneni athekile lo muntu angibheka athi mina mashona mina yimi ngikwenze lento I was sure at the time that it's him but after he said that I was like no man akusiyi I'm confused manje this person I was sure but when he says it's not him I'm like akusuye ke yabona so manje kuba icase ukuthi sisakaza ukuthi wathekwe yabobani nami to this case I'm still not sure ukuthi athekwe ubani but in my conscious I believe it's him but because of I can't prove it ngememory I cannot say it's him but if feeling yami bengitshela like my intuition or my feeling my gut feel instinct still tells me to this day ukuthi bekuyo yenze lonto but because of now I could not have tangible proof ukuthi uye and umuntu ukuthi beka umngani wami close I feel bad ukuthi what if ngiyamsukela lo muntu hayi bamtshela into ayikhulumayo yena athi hayi lo muntu izolibekana bobani bekani kube nje indaba ehlangahlangana yabona bathi hayi asiphumeni kuyo ngithi ngiyovula icase emaphoyiseni bathi ungavula icase ngadvise abantu
usho bani
basekhaya
ukuthi ungayivula case
umama
why
athi phuma kuyo lento lena like
ushayiwe mos
ngishayiwe ngimabokoboko
But
and I'm not in a good state of mind
uvulela icase ubani.
yazi bengizoyivula kanjani case kunecamera futhi eshare
beside that bowulahleki bowkidnapiwe
bengikidnapiwe I'm angry I wanted revenge and I wanted to get to the bottom of it because if I knew the surveillance footage garage because if I remember lo muntu onginyathela maka nginyathela I didn't mention this part of withdraw imali I did withdraw nemali there's a camera I knew very well ukuthi mangaya eShell they can pull that footage that one I knew very much but because of now I'm not in the right state of mind ngumntwana basically on the thing yatetemisa nje ukuthi hayi iyeke iba right ngiyahambiswa ngithengela ama in like medical care amapilisi from pharmacies and whatnot after lapho but benzen bangishiftise you're not safe la bangithumela kwagogo ukuthi you are not safe la ngifika kwagogo mama doesn't believe in these traditional things mina ngithi hayi ngibona ibhoko manje sengisaba nokulala ucinyiwe I mean what is that I've never been afraid of the
But
dark
what
I was
would you
afraid
be
of the
scared
dark
of because nothing really happened to you?
I felt like still there's people around looking at me
So this is just traumatic.
it's
It's
call it
not
trauma
spiritual.
So when you were
It's
traumatized
traumatic experience. You are now having like flashbacks, right? Because listening to you, nothing really happened to you that would make you now have sleepless nights in terms of sleep paralysis, sexual dreams, or you seeing shadows, or you seeing, things that could be sent. It didn't get to that point. I'm not saying it wasn't going to get to that, but it didn't. Do you understand? So now it would have been just psychologically you are going through that trauma. Do you understand?
okay
so wena ube nenkinga yokuthi mangithi ngiyayipick up bakubambile bebefuna ukukusebenzisa wagcina ungasebenzisekanga
Yes.
ngicabanga ukuthi as a man mhlambe futhi ezinye zezinto ezemlimaza kakhulu ukuthi khona omunye wabo befuna ukulala nawo
yeah
uyayizwa lento engizama ukuyisho
Hence I'm saying traumatic psychologically. But when we talk about spiritually, I can't really pinpoint something that could actually, and for the mere fact that he drank something. Remember, kufana nesipili. Yabona nesipili abantu baphuzisa abantu bese bathi ubheke esipilini. Hey, yabona isipili phela mawusiphuza. It fucks with the mind. Like literally, you kind of like, I don't know whether you are illusion. You go through like an illusion. You start hallucination. So things like that, mozophuzisa umuntu izinto before insebenzo. Those things are supposed to make them hallucinate. And it's supposed to make you give in. You can't give somebody some. It's like in hospital. Come on, like really. In hospital, when you're going to go to theater, your body needs to be calmed down so that you cannot fight. When there is a kidnapping in progress and you are a fighter, you are then sedated so that you cannot fight. How do I work when somebody is fighting? Do you understand what I'm saying? So all the things that he's talking about that he drank and whatever, that is why I said we are talking, if it was a song of Makani, it's an amateur. Because clearly, one, we could say it's an amateur. We could also say do you understand? But the experiences, the aftermath for me line up with psychology, things, traumatic experiences, and him trying to now I mean, I experienced in my childhood when I was like 13, my dad experienced hijacking. I had that traumatic experience to a point where I would dream about it, I felt as if those men were still there. So that part, yes, I understand fully. But spiritually, you cannot have things like sex dreams, or you now have seen shadows. You've got a shadow man. You've got, nothing.
So you are
happened.
saying spiritually abamenzanga lutho?
No, spiritually nothing was done. Those things that Mama Fatsona was supposed to calm him down. They were supposed to make him hallucinate. They were supposed to make him give up. Do you understand? They were not supposed to poison him or anything, because if you were going to do organ extraction, you need them alive and functioning. I cannot poison him if I still want to use his organs, because his organ is an ingredient to something that is bigger, that's supposed to bring something. Do you understand? Even if Ngivusa is spogi, his organ is going to play a part in whatever Ngivusai. In what, however, like penises, if it's a penis and we have umkovu, it is going to work in order to give umkovu power by now inflicting pleasures on whatever that's going to make umkovu work, whether it's businesses, whether it's money, whether it's tenders, and it's whatever the case might be. So he could not be given things that are supposed to harm him, because then now you are damaging the stock. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Man, I'm still there.
Don't go to the penis. Leave the penis alone. I want to
ask something. But can I ask? So when you are there now at the penis, do you wait for the penis to erect, or you just...
How is the penis going to erect when you're supposed to inflict pain?
Pella, you said you need it alive.
No, I'm not talking about that alive. I'm talking about alive, like he needs to be alive. When people do this harvesting of organs, guys, you need to understand one thing. You need to be alive. Yes. It's a painful death. They cannot kill you and then extract. They need to extract while you're still alive, because it's the pain, it's the suffering that will give those organs power spiritually. Ukukhala, ukuzwa ubuhlungu bakho is going to push those organs to give me the power that I'm looking for. So I cannot kill you. I cannot damage what I need to use. So hence I'm saying, when I listen to the story, even if Besendumben, but I mean, I know this, you know.
Njengoba uyamuzwa ukuthi ugogo uthini uthe simani futhi nami mangabe ngesilaleli isimo sakho siyezwakala ukuthi kahle kahle labantu laba nihlanganile nashayana kwenze, but spiritually ayikho indlela abakuffecte ngayo. Yayizwa lento engishoyo. Like ayikho into eyenziwe still usaphelele, wakhathwa la wakhathwa khona, but uyabona ukuthi none of those things worked. So mina uma ngabe gogo ngiyibeka kuwe le ndaba le, njengoba efikile ekhuluma nathi ngalesi simo lesesamehlela, athini ke njengamanje awakho amazwi?
No, I was going to say the traumatic experience will bring about what we call isinyama. Remember, isinyama and isichito are two different things.
Yes.
Isinyama is brought about by things that happened to you and you didn't cleanse for them. For him, ukuthi athathiwe abegiwe emikhukhwini, abe around people, being threatened with rape and everything. This was interesting gezwa. Ngoba uhleli ngaleso sinyama leso, which now means ukoli fifing. Do you understand? Utshwanetse go hlapisiwe so that you can attract goodness, bring in light, because energy is very important. Once you are in dark omen, everything around you is going to be dark. You're going to be accumulating like a sponge in water. It accumulates water, right? And everything that you seem to possess becomes ugly, basically. But misebetsi ha isa tlhaya lwena ha o sa batlo ba around people, you're feeling lonely, you're feeling distant, you feel as if people don't understand your personality, you know. Imali ba khona maria shabala liphelele ezandleni, you second guess yourself, relationships become a problem, even sexually you have a problem. Do you understand? Because kunesinyama akahlambululanga isinyama, because izinto ezifana nabo rape, ezifana nakuya amajeli, ezifana nama accident, ulifu, do you understand, abortions, miscarriages, ziyagezela. Isinyama mawungazigezeli lezo zinto lezo. Isichito is something that is designed to destroy your life in evil matters. Do you understand? Somebody who is persistent, who wants to destroy you deliberately. So those things hadithwani isinyama nesichito. But what he's experiencing right now unesinyama. Kufanele ukuthi ahlambululwe, kufanele ukuthi agezwe.
Usho ukuthi njengamanje angazithole sesimweni la kukhona mhlawumbe amadoda ambuka amhalela afuna ukumrape futhi.
No, Sabelo.
Angithi uthe lento
No,
yamlandela.
he's not, unless if maybe he's bisexual.
No, I'm just saying,
I don't know that.
angithi-
What the twist in this could be, because it's already instilled in his mind. He then becomes a problem to his partner, because the rage, the anger now comes out of him, which means that he could inflict pain to others.
Yeah.
He can inflict pain to her in the same sexual manner that he was now, attached to this, to whatever that happened. He could now be inflicting this to her. Usegane sinyama, do you understand?
Sekanodlame.
Kusho ukuthi this dark omen, this dark entity is now going to take control of his life.
Siyakuzwa. So basically uthi kufanele agezele lesimo esamehlela uma eqeda ebese yothola usizo lokululekwa ngokwengqondo, like
No, not really. I mean, once he cleanses,
yeah.
the spirit of what happened will then
Leave.
detach itself from him. Angeke ibe yinto emlandelayo. Do you understand? I would advise, and I would actually offer my services, do you understand, for free, just to thank him for sharing the story with us. I would advise that he comes for a cleansing. I am Fulen. And then there are certain products that he'll be given, ukuthi fanele azisebenzise ekhaya, do you understand, to maintain the cleansing that we have done. Also, this cleansing as Mfuleni, we would need to now kill two birds with one stone by actually appreciating and acknowledging his ancestors, because they played a bigger role.
ngoba yizo zimkhiphe lapho.
Do you understand? So that after that he should be fine. After that imali should be okay. He should be happy. Uzozwa naye ukuthi khona into ehlile empilweni yakhe.
So njengoba ugogo esekhulumile ngicabanga ukuthi umzwile ne.
Yebo,
Kukho konke ugogo asekushilo usuzozivalelisa nje. What would you like to say? Mhlambe ikuphi okuzwile nokukuthintile?
Okay. I can't highlight or single out one point, but all I can say is that isn't ukuthi ugogo's explaining it. It's things that I suspected, or they had like explained to me personally, but because of, I believe she's an expert, I wanted to hear from you. However, I would really appreciate ukuthi ngithole vele i-cleansing from ugogo, because of if maybe ugogo angayenza i-cleansing, there's more things that I would like to say to her ukuthi I cannot share on camera, unfortunately. Yangithola izinto ukuthi ngazikhuluma nogogo C2, because of lento in a history it stems from somewhere.
Yeah, it does. Hence I'm saying.
But lento besiyifuna mos ukuthi iqale kuphi?
Lapho
Why must change?
bekana abantu abangigijimisayo.
Okay, but iqalephi?
Yazi
He says he doesn't want to discuss certain things on
no
camera.
le ngayikhuluma but
Yeah.
ngizokukhatha chop and fast.
Khululeka
Remember.
ngizokulanda lawo
Angithi
ma
sikhula
chopping
soon.
lawo
Jesus Christ, hallelujah.
iqalephi?
So mina iqale phi nokukhapha abangani bahlola benza izinto ezikanje ngithi Bokade hey
said that.
lo mfana lo
I did say
ngiyamfuna
that.
He said
We
that.
said that, yeah.
in lo mfana
We did.
uneyinhlanhla in kaningi ngihamba nabangani bami. I've always had people saying ineyinhlanhla, but I never used to understand, but uzoba rich or abanye bathi kube kudala unemali wena, as you're not supposed to be working, what's wrong with you? Asiphume lapho ngeke ngahamba omunye ugogo. I was still arrogant, I don't want to lie. Ngicala yenza izinto ze culture ngidadaye ome kancane. Lo gogo wathini kimi wena you need to acknowledge idlozi lakini, or otherwise in the long run uzoba nebhadi because of ubangwa idlozi. You haven't acknowledged idlozi lakhabo babakho. That's what she told me. Uzoba successful but ujike ubuye, and you might even lead to an extent yokuthi ugule ngengqondo. That's what she told me. Nani I guess ngikhuluma ngendaba zesibopho nani yabona ukuthi
Yeah, but you see,
it's
we
deep.
can't really get into that because
No.
before we do go for the cleansing, the first thing ukuthi mina ayikho into engiyenzayo without ukushaya inhlolo or without ukuphahla inside my ndumba or ukusebenzisa amakhandlela or whatever the case might be. So there's a lot that I would have to sit down and see for myself. Bear in mind, I'd be giving advice as well. But my main focus would be to cleanse him and provide him with products that he will use at home to maintain the cleansing.
I know. Ngiyakuzwa. So njengamanje into engipick up ukuthi elinye lamaphutho walenza wathemba abangani bakho ngokuhamba nabo uye einyangeni ungakholelwe eminyangeni.
Yeah.
Did we not have an episode?
We did. There's an episode
where I was talking about a friend who went with a friend.
It's also possible.
How do you know that the friend that you actually went with, that's why I said
for whatever ritual.
There's no way this could be just out of the blue.
And then ngale kwalokho uthi ubabe mbuzo ukuthi ubani omkidnappile. He said it was the friend. But asikho ke lapho mngani, we are not there. Okay, we are not there futhi. All I'm saying is ekugcineni kosuku engikufundile kuyo yonke lenkulumo esesikhulumile ngizocela ukuyishiya le yabangani because ine episode yayo esengikufundile kule nkulumo le esikhulumile ukuthi kwesinye isikhathi akusikhona ukuthi mhlawumbe noma ngabe kuthiwa zikhona izinto ezinobuthakathi noma ucabanga ukuthi zinobuthakathi ezikwehlele kodwa kwesinye isikhathi konke kusekhanda lakho akusikhona ubuthakathi. Kwesinye isikhathi lezo zinto lezo ozi-experienceile ebudeni bendlela oyihambayo njengoba sonke siphila sihamba ndlela thizeni esibhekene nayo. Kukhona izinto ozohlangana nazo ebese ziba imovie ezohlala iku-repeat ekhanda lakho ngaso sonke isikhathi. Ngalamazwi ngiqonda ukuthi kusho ukuthi kubalekile ukuthi ube uhambe ubone ngizoyichaza kanjani le ndaba le ubone abantu amakhansela labantu labo kuthiwa uyahamba uyokhuluma nabo ubatshele ukuthi bethi what is
that he had a traumatic experience
ukuthi ubatshele ukuthi uke waba nenkinga kanje bakuhlalise phansi bakutshele ukuthi khuluma zonke uvule isifuba uxoxe ngeenkinga zakho ngoba kwesinye isikhathi akukho umuntu okuthakathayo ukuthi nje yonke lento isaphile ekhanda lakho. Ngalamazwi ngizocela ukuthi bhuti wami mina personally ngizothi thola nje umuntu ozokuhlala naye umxoxele udaba lakho ukhulume nje ngalo ujwayele.
Also don't suppress him by saying that he needs psychological help.
I'm not
so
saying
that he can speak. I get you saying that's what you're saying in layman's terms.
But he has already got the traditional help from you, so he also needs the other help.
I hear you, but we cannot now shy away from the fact that there is traditional help that needs to be put in place. And I can't really now say I'm tapping into him and I can see Guti ekhaya kunjani because this is a private thing. Do you understand? That is why I can't leave my consultation room and come and tell the next client what I was discussing with this client.
Ngabe ngiyazazi indaba zabantu. Pillow talk.
So at the end of the day, I always mix Western and traditional so I can balance myself. Even nasedlozini, there's Leanne, there's Maweni, we're on the same level. If you want to be okay in life, balance the two. Balance the two, especially if you come from a spiritual background where ekaya you guys didn't want to follow through ngezinto zedlozi. But if you follow your lineage, you see and when it came to you guys, because now your parents were born again Christians and they decided to eradicate that, and you were brought up in that situation, I believe in reincarnation. I believe our forefathers come back with us. And if you are going to shy away from that part, wayikwalla wena self. But these are the things that we'd have to discuss when we are together.
So ngane zakwethu engizokusho ukuthi kunesilwane ubomesaba umuntu. Press that like and subscribe. Thank you so much.